Forget what you learned in school. Never mind what your parents told you, and disregard what your friends say. From now on, the only people you need to listen to are these guys. For the next several minutes, they'll take you on a journey through the political jungle. And when your journey is over and you're safe at home, they promise you'll be stronger, smarter, and just plain better. So buckle up, hang on to your ears, because your journey starts now.
Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of At Odds.
Hi, Nate. How you doing?
Brian's extra prepared for this one. He's got his laptop ready, and he knew we were starting the show, so he's all set.
I have nothing ready. Apparently, I picked up a little bit of spyware, and Nate's working on that. Thanks for joining us. We're again in the Doubleheader Bar and Grill studio in the back room. If you're in the greater Lansing area, where we are, in the great state of Michigan. In what country, Nate?
Luxembourg again.
We are in Luxembourg once again. We love it here.
Such a rich city. I mean, a lot of one-percenters around here, and I love it.
It's rich.
Which, by the way, I was called a one-percenter last night.
You were?
I was, and it made me proud.
Where were you called this?
Well, I was at a Halloween party.
And were you wearing something?
Drinking establishment. Yeah, I was wearing one of my Romney Ryan shirts.
Huh.
And I was...
And what city was this in Michigan?
This was in Bay City, Michigan.
Are there a lot of Democrats there?
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, it's a big city with... Yes.
So this was a woman that just came up to you and said, "You're a one-percenter."
No, it was a man.
Oh, it was a man. Even worse.
Yeah.
And he could tell this because how well you were dressed?
Yeah, because I was wearing a Romney Ryan shirt, so he
just assumed.
Yeah. You know what actually surprised me is I went there expecting to be heckled or to people to not like it. I really did expect that. But I'm an American, and I've decided recently that I'm not going to...
You're not going to bow down to social pressures?
Essentially, yeah. And
you're not going to be politically correct anymore?
It made me... It was. I think it was a really good sign because it was the exact opposite. And it wasn't...
You were embraced.
It wasn't that people just ignored me. It was several...
you only got stabbed twice?
Several people throughout the night
came up to you?
Came up and said, "Oh, awesome shirt. That's what we need." And Election Day's Tuesday. That's
Ooh, do you think that is a precursor to...
I think it is, because a place that I was in, I was expecting a lot of Democrats, liberal type people there, and I think even Democrats are realizing, how bad things have gotten and how bad they will get over the next 4 years if we make the wrong choice on Tuesday.
We have heard of a few things like that in the news. That a lot of people, well, not a lot, but that there are a few people that supported Obama 4 years ago or are disappointed and may not vote for him again.
Yep. And I should mention this, the guy, they were leaving the place. He was with a group, there were 3 other people. 2 of them walked past me and said, "Oh, awesome shirt. And he was with this group that, that they were basically praising my shirt, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, 1%er," and so it was interesting. Even the people he was with.
Well, we will see in 3 days. We are 3 days before the election.
We are 3 days before the election. I have a countdown. It's been going on for 40 or 50 days. I have a clock counting down on capeconservative.com
because you
days to the election, and
are a nerd and you have nothing better to do with your life.
I don't know if that's true, but it's,
no, I think it is.
Because it's such an important election.
Why do you think it's important?
Well, it's important because the president we have now, he has said that he's going to fundamentally transform this country, and that's what he's done, and that's
you're
what he
assuming
will continue
that's
to do.
A bad thing?
That is a very bad thing. Very, very bad thing.
What if he fundamentally changes it for good?
How can you?
I don't know.
To say fundamentally...
Nothing is so good that it can't get a little bit better.
To say that you will fundamentally transform this nation is to say that
what we had in the last 220 years is not good.
That the way the principles this country was founded on were wrong. And that's exactly what he believes.
Yeah.
He thinks, the founding fathers were, well, he's an anti-colonialist, and he thinks this country has just stolen resources from all these third world countries.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I mean,
that it is exactly
he
true.
may feel that way, but I don't know that that's true. I mean, we're really not in the dictionary definition of a colonial country. We've never sort of planted our flags in other people's countries and claimed it for our own.
Right.
We try to come in the back door and do that.
Yeah. No, I disagree with that, but
we have, but
yeah. Right. Yeah. No, I agree with that. But he does despise this country and how it was founded and the freedom we have. When they blamed the video for the attacks in Benghazi, and he basically went out and said, yeah, well, we would do something about it, but we have this Constitution, the First Amendment, that says we have free speech and so you can't. Yeah, that Constitution gets in the way. We've talked about that before.
Right. Well, speaking of the Benghazi thing, did you see I sent you that recent article saying that
it was in the Boston Globe or something. Right?
Yeah,
so,
and that apparently they have a time frame, and they responded immediately and sent people over, and they were just overwhelmed and
I don't buy it.
All kinds of
stuff. I don't buy it at all. I think we'll see
contrary to what was coming out 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll see that the White House was very involved with the decision to stand down, and that if it wasn't the president, it was somebody very close to him that gave the direct orders to the Navy SEALs that wanted to help to stand down. Although that Boston Globe article that you had said that they weren't told to stand down, right? Or at least they mobilized before they were.
Right, that the CIA was involved and moved troops, and that the delays were, they did say there were delays, as I recall, but they were blaming the Libyans for that. They were saying that the CIA asked for 50 caliber machine guns and certain support and stuff, and they were denied.
Yeah, and that's...
And that actually that by the time they got down the street from the consulate, that they met some Libyans, and they still wouldn't go, except for three Libyan militia people actually volunteered
that helped out
to go with the Americans to defend the consulate. So I give those guys a high five.
But how... It is not the American way to rely on people like the Libyans to protect us and to keep our people safe. I mean,
well, I think there's certain.
Why are we?
I think there's certain protocol involved.
Yeah.
Now listen,
and protocol was followed.
Let's turn it around. Let's say it's
some point.
Let's say it's Harry Ballistan embassy in the United States, and it's being attacked by some terrorists in the United States. Harry Ballistan personnel are going to ask, for local support. They're going to have, the Washington, D.C. Police and, the U.S. military and things like that. They're going to go through channels before they start shooting in the streets. So, I mean, there's a certain protocol involved, but...
Well, what I said was it's not the American way to rely on people in a place like Libya to help us out. We should not have an embassy in
where
Libya.
Do we draw?
And that's a bigger issue. Other countries have pulled their embassies out of there because they realize how dangerous it is. And they probably saw this coming, and how could you not see it coming on September 11th with the state, that our foreign policy is in with...
Well, even the
ambassador, idiot running the country.
Ambassador and his security people saw it coming, and they asked for help, apparently.
It had been attacked in recent months earlier. There were attacks, not to this scale. I don't know if anybody died. Definitely
I don't
didn't
think
hear about it
we
as
would
much.
Have heard it.
Yeah, well, you would think, but the mainstream media is not covering any of this either.
Geez,
even the Boston Globe article, it basically said, "Oh yeah, the president did everything. Re-elect him, please." I mean, that's frustrating. But that the situation in Libya by itself is a big enough reason to not re-elect the president. Because even if he didn't make the decisions that were made were wrong, and it's his job to make sure that doesn't happen, and he's lied to us. It's not like he came out and said, "Oh yeah, people made bad decisions, I'll handle it." he lied. He came out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a unique thing. I think presidents have lied to the American people in the past.
I'm sure they have, but I don't think it's something that we should stand for.
Well, that's politics, and I think their feeling is, you can't handle the truth. They feel the American people are ignorant and stupid, and many are, unfortunately, and they vote.
I ran into one today.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the president's getting a boost from the Hurricane Sandy.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well, no, the polls are showing that. They're saying
I don't
that,
believe the polls. Come on.
Even Christie is supporting it.
Yeah, wasn't that something?
Wow.
That's one of those things that's
amazing.
For a while I had mixed feelings about, because it's like,
kind of blows your mind.
Yeah, he put politics aside because of his state, but he's one of the top surrogates for Romney. He gave the keynote at the RNC, the Republican National Convention.
Well, did you hear the statement when he asked that, Governor Romney's going to be coming there to campaign, and he says, I don't give a crap about the presidential.
Yeah, he said, if you think I give a damn about presidential
then
politics,
you don't know
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand what he was saying.
Sure. But he could have said it a little bit nicer. And
that's not his way. It's Chris Christie. I like that. He's a hard-nosed, say what he means. But
he also is patting Obama on the back, and that sends a message. I don't care what you say.
It definitely does.
You're going to see a lot of those independent people are going to go, well, if Chris Christie thinks he's doing a good job, maybe I should reconsider and maybe vote for him again.
My thing is, I think
it harmed Romney.
I think Chris Christie wanted some federal money and FEMA to come in to help, and he played it up.
But he would have gotten that anyways.
But maybe not as quickly.
Oh, come on. You can't move any more quickly.
When he was elected governor, the federal government removed some sort of education funding from them, basically because he was a Republican when he was elected shortly after that, and they blamed it on not meeting some standard a year or two before that.
The federal government often uses extortion to get things.
They always use extortion.
We could do shows and shows and shows on that. And that's not my point. Yeah. My point is, I think Chris Christie knew that the federal government, the current administration, is not going to help him just because they think they would like to help him. He's going to have to give them a reason to help him. Now, I think he went way overboard. Wow.
He asked for help.
If that's true, that's a shame.
He didn't.
What's FEMA about? It's supposed to be, nonpartisan. It's supposed to just help people.
Come on.
Because they need help. I understand.
FEMA is as bad as every other governmental agency and does not need to exist. The American people will take care of the American people. That's what we've done. That's what we would do if the government would stay the hell out of the way.
That's Ron Paul's argument. He came out on some national show and said the same thing, that FEMA's ridiculous. It's a waste of money.
Yes.
And that for 200 years, neighbors have helped neighbors.
That's exactly right. I mean,
that's true. And he was saying, insurance companies are there as well. I mean, that's a private enterprise, and you either have insurance or you don't.
Look, profit motive. Companies with profit motive are that's a positive thing in these situations, because, like, the insurance companies, the electrical companies, the construction companies, their business is built around making a profit. These situations allow them to make a profit, and they'll go there to help. And while they're making a profit, it's also helping in these tragedies. And that's where we don't need the government, because between companies making a profit, charities, churches, neighbors, just good American values, we will just handle these things. And that was interesting, because both Obama and Chris Christie, which really got me, came out and said, well, we're going to have to, I told everybody in my administration to cut through the red tape, leave the bureaucracy out of it, and if somebody needs an asset or resources, we're going to give it to them. Well, when a tragedy happens, you're admitting now that in order to take care of this, you have to cut through the red tape and get rid of the bureaucracy.
Right. He admitted that there's problems.
Why today? Why not every day?
Yeah.
Chris Christie, he lifted the restrictions on, or the regulation on fuel mixtures for, the global warming morons that are out there.
Because they get gas in people's cars.
Yeah, they need gas, or the federal government's flying it in now.